Hey, welcome back. All right, we're going to start with the buildings that we had already drawn. I mean, there's no reason not to, okay? And we're going to talk about doors and windows. So, some things to think about real quick. Most doors are a standard height. They're usually between 6.5 feet and 8 feet tall, but most of them are probably about 7 feet tall. There are some rare exceptions. Sometimes they vary in width, but in general, most normal doors are probably 2.5 times taller than they are wide. So we just have to keep that in mind. If you look at our list over here, if you remember, it says we want to do doors and windows of appropriate size and number. So I'm going to show you the basics of doors and windows, and then you can put however many on your building that you think are appropriate, okay? So basically the general rule of the doors and windows is that they are made up of two types of lines, either a vertical line or a line that goes to the vanishing point. So if I draw a door on this side of the building, its top and bottom, and any top and bottom of windows that might be in the door, are going to go to the same vanishing point as the top and bottom of the wall that they're on. That means that they're facing the same way, they're parallel to the wall that they're on, which makes sense unless they're open, okay? So let's draw some doors, all right, and some windows. Windows have the same rule. The top and bottom of the windows are going to go to the same vanishing point as the wall that they are on or in. But the windows can be different sizes and they can be all over the place, because doors, though, all have to be at the ground level where you walk in, and they're all going to be kind of the same height. So let's draw a door on this building right here. So we're going to draw the vertical edges of the door. Let's put it right on the corner. So I'm going to draw a vertical edge, and let's make it kind of a narrow door, something like that. Now that looks very narrow right now, but I did the lines extra long just in case. So now we're going to decide how tall the door is going to be, and then that line has to go back to this right vanishing point. But the other thing that we didn't talk about yet is, because all doors are about the same height, once we decide the height of this door, we're going to extend that line across all of these buildings, because that will be the height of any door that's on those buildings that is of standard size. We don't want a building for dwarves and a building for giants or something. We want to make it look like a real street corner. So I'm going to say that this door, the top is probably about right there. And we're standing kind of far away, so it looks like it's kind of a small door. So I'm going to line the top up with the vanishing point, and I'm going to draw it across those two lines. Now, I'm also going to just draw a light line across the front of these buildings, which represents that door level. What about this building back here? Well, if I extend this out to the corner, that's the height of the door at the corner of the building. I can take that back to that vanishing point, and that will represent the top of any door that's on that side of any building on that street. So I draw it on this one and that one, okay? So anytime I want to make a door on any of those buildings, I can just do that. Now, let's erase these. So here we go. So here's the door. And you can put a doorknob on it if you want. Oops, I got the corner messed up there. So let's say the doorknob's about right there. Okay, that looks like a door. Now, this let's make a double door. Let's say right here. Okay, so that's the door height. I've already got the door height. So let's make the edge of the door from that top of the door down to the bottom, right there. And then let's make a big wide doorway. So notice how it's almost square instead of rectangular. This is going to be, and then let's make it a big swinging double door. So we would have a crack between the two doors right in the middle, right? How do we find the middle of a square or a rectangle? Okay, so like if I have, this is not with a straight edge, but if I have a rectangle and I want to find the middle of it, I take my straight edge and do what? Crisscross from corner to corner, right? So if I do that, then I can find the center of it.
Okay, good.
And I got the center of the square, right? So if this is the square, I can go like this, and I go corner to corner, and you're going to have a line that's a lot thinner because you're using a pencil, but that's the center of that door. And now if I draw a vertical line through the center of that door, then that shows me where the middle of the doorway would be, where the two doors would come together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase the cross and leave the point in the middle, so that I don't have to erase it once I draw the lines in there. You can probably do yours a little bit better. So I'm going to draw right through there. And here we go, right there. And I think that's a little bit off, but so then I could put a doorknob there and a doorknob there, okay? And those doorknobs would be in a line to the vanishing point. So if that's all the doors I wanted to put on that building, I could erase this line that represents the height of the doors, and I'd be all set, okay? I'm going to leave that little mark there because I'm going to show you something in just a little bit. So if I wanted to do a side door, I could take that mark back to the vanishing point, and that would be the top of any door on this side of that building. Okay. So let's draw another one. My marker is getting kind of. Oh, let's do this. Let's make a big doorway. Let's make a doorway that just is full of doors. How about that? And now, remember, the doors get thinner and smaller as they go. Let's make this, maybe this is a theater that has a whole bunch of doors that open when the movie gets done. Or maybe they're those big glass doors. And they got the little push bars on them or something. So those all come open when they're open for business or something. So then maybe I erase the very end, the space between the corner and the doors. And maybe those were like glass and you could see through them or something. But anyway, and then down here I can make another door. You can make that door. Let's make a door that looks like it goes, the doorway gets pushed in, and then the door is like if it was raining out, you could walk into this doorway without even opening the door and stand under the little pushed in part if it was raining or something. So how do we do that? Let's do that on this side right here. So we got the little mark left from when we drew all the doors back. So let's draw a line from that height back across that wall, okay? So that's the height of all the doors that go back that way, okay? And then this time, we're gonna draw a little bit of a thickness for a wall, okay? So that's like the thickness of the wall, all right? And then we'll draw the other side of the doorway, right here. Okay, and now I'm gonna, watch this, I'm gonna erase that. So all I have is this doorway. Now I could make that a double or a triple door, right? This one right here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it look like that doorway is pushed back in, and then there's a door farther in. So this little corner right here is going to go back into the building. So if it's going back into the building, it's going to go to this vanishing point over here, the right one, okay? So watch this. This is kind of cool. So I'm going to line that little corner up with the vanishing point, and then I'm going to draw it back into the building, okay? So we pushed it back in, and now we're going to draw the wall that the door is on. So it's going to have a vertical line, and then we'll show you here. So from that point, it's going to go up. And I know this is confusing. We might zoom in on this. Okay, now there's a corner here, and that doorway is going to be sitting there. And so this corner has to be lined up with that one, and that comes back until it touches the edge of the doorway where it goes behind it. So let me see if I can get this from that corner lined up with the left vanishing point, and this time we're going to go back until it hits that. Okay? See how, so you can see it? See how that looks like it goes pushed in, and then there's like a door or a wall there, and that could be the door. All right? Okay, let's do some windows. So if we had, let's say this, we want a big, maybe this was just a small business. We want a big window here where people, maybe there's a sign in the window where people could look in. All right, so we're gonna do the sides of the window. So let's make it right by the door, and we'll make it kind of low. We'll make it go up kind of high like that. And we'll put the other side in. And that's just a guess on how high that is. I know I'm going to erase some of that. But now the bottom of the window goes from the bottom of this first line to the vanishing point, and it goes like this to the other line. And then the top of the window does the same thing. Let's make the top, you know what? Let's make the top of the window the same height as the door, just so it looks neat, like it's supposed to be that way or something. Okay, and so now we erase the extra lines that we don't need. That was way too tall. And there's our window. Okay, let's say there's some apartments up here. All right, so we're gonna make the bottom of all the windows that are on that second floor. We'll just put a line here like this, and then we'll put the top of all the windows that will be on that second floor. We'll put a line like that. That's the top of all of them. Okay, and now we just make the sides. So let's start with the first one. Try to keep the lines vertical. Okay, let's make them big windows. So there's the front edge, there's the back edge. Now we'll skip a space and do the front edge and do the back edge. Try to make them look like they're probably about the same size, knowing that they're getting smaller. So is the space between the windows, right? And let's just make one more. Okay. And so those are all on the same line. And you could keep those lines there. Sometimes you'll notice that buildings, the height of the windows is all the same color or something, okay? So there's windows. You could put windows like that on these ones too. You can make a window that looks like it's pushed in like that. You could draw this line back to the vanishing point, and then try to make it look like it was a display window with a shelf in there or something, okay? But all the lines follow the same rule. They're either vertical, straight up and down, or they're to one vanishing point or the other, all right? So that's windows and doors.